Welcome to Total Fitheads.
Serious fitness for not so serious people.
Dead on. That's the exact note that my camera plays when you hit record.
I can do Brittany's car or her horn. Hey!
Her car says hey.
No, but it sounds like it.
I know, but it'd be great. That's
She's like,
great.
"What is that my car?" And I'm like, "No. Hey."
That's so sassy.
Yeah.
I heard a car play La Cucaracha the other day.
That's cool.
It's super cool.
It's cool the first time.
Yeah, or when you're angry. Someone's cutting you off.
That's when
You
you
have
pull
to
out.
do it in minor.
Nice. That's when they fire the missiles on the air.
Alright. You know, it sucks that we didn't try this together. We're gonna talk about a workout that we both did.
Independently, but within the same week.
Yeah.
And what sucks that they have classes, and we didn't end up going to the same class at the same time on the same day. But
Why was that, by the way?
Because I woke up too late. Also, why did you wake up at 6:30 in the morning to go to a workout class?
Yeah. Honestly, it ruined my entire day. And this has nothing to do with the workout, it has everything to do with the fact that my body is not used to doing that at that time. I went to bed early, I got 8 hours.
Oh.
Yeah, I was committed to getting up. The workout was at 8:30. I had to take the specific workout with the founder, and that's when he was coaching. I didn't want to just do anybody. It had to be the guy that invented the workout.
It's quite the humble brag.
I think it was worth it.
People who go to their workout class at 6:30, 5:30 in the morning, it boggles my mind. But it doesn't, because regular people have to go to the office.
Yes,
You know?
and regular people don't enjoy working out. They want to get it over with, and I put air quotes up because that's what I've heard so many people say that.
Right.
Like,
That's
what are
true.
you doing? I save mine. I do my workout at 10 p.m. because I'm like, just anticipating how awesome my deadlifts are going to be.
It's your treat.
Yeah.
It's your reward at your end of your day.
Yeah. I get all my work done and then I get to work out.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like that. Sometimes I do like to work out first thing in the morning because I'm like, well, even if today doesn't really go according to plan, at least I knocked that first thing out. Or at least I got my workout in. And sometimes at the end of the day, I'm like, tired.
What?
Imagine that.
I don't know. Ask Jeff from Rise. I'm never tired in the evening. My peak is right when I'm deadlifting.
I started reading that Why We Sleep after...
Did you? How is it?
It's horrifying. That spider thing freaks me out. And everything else, every other thing that is in the book is just more and more scary things. Like, he took an entire chapter to just destroy caffeine.
Oh no.
He was like, as much as you like caffeine, it's poison. Good luck with that. And you're like, but I love it.
No. Dr. Casey from Levels just told me another book called Caffeine that that I'm going to read, but she doesn't drink caffeine. This is how we got into talking about it.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I know, because it was the one thing that I could hang on to, that everything was bad for you and I should just be holding off from appreciating any sort of joy where I intake or indulge at all. But caffeine was okay, as long as I did it at the right time. But it turns out you can't ever do it at the right... I don't know. I don't want to read, but I need to.
Started my high school, college career.
Oh, yeah. Solid.
The spider thing freaked me out. That's like a fun little anecdote.
Can recall the spider thing in case people missed that episode.
The spider thing was they gave a bunch of spiders different drugs. And when I was telling this to somebody the other day, they were like, well, why are they giving spiders drugs? And I was like, because spiders like to party, obviously. And so then they
You can hold 8 blunts at a time. I was like, does he need 2 to hold himself up? So maybe it's 6 and he has 2 feet down?
No, he's just chilling.
Straight up.
He's on his back, just like totally relaxed. It's like, oh my god. Bing, 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 bing.
Each one's a different note.
God, that's funny. And I'm picturing like a backwards, like a snap, or one of those like Rasta hats.
And blunts are made from cigars. You can get the flavored cigars too, so each hand is a different flavor.
Do they have hands or do they just have legs?
Legs, sure.
But stuff sticks to their feet. So they can. Do they have feet? Now we're gonna offend our spider listening community. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Don't mean to come across as anti-spider. But the spider web thing was they looked at the web that the spider would weave sober, I guess, and then they would give him all these different drugs, and they would have different types of webs. And so the LSD web was like kind of, you like missed all the middle ones, and
So it wasn't like colorful and weird and drippy and beautiful. It was just like he screwed up. He just like sucked it.
Oh my god, I totally forgot. You know, like he built a table with no legs, for example. Or, you know what I mean? Or like he made a couch that was 2-dimensional. Anyway, and then the caffeine, all the other different drugs were like kind of whatever. But the caffeine one was like shattered glass. It like looked nothing like a uniform web was supposed to look. It was like I started over here. Oh, and then I forgot. I gotta go over here. Oh, and then I gotta go. And then it was horrifying.
Okay, but there's a bell curve to dosing, and they probably gave him too much. You could have like a really beautiful super spider weave thing super quickly if you'd have done it correctly, perhaps.
Yeah.
He'd had the right number of milligrams.
Right.
That's
right.
my guess.
Espresso.
I don't
shot.
really know. Yeah, exactly. Just dunk him in an espresso and.
I wonder how they gave it to him.
I don't know. I wonder how they got this study approved. Who's paying for this and then giving them LSD?
We need a bunch of LSD for a project, and then they're like, "Sure, here you go." Oh, what's the project?
And he pulls out a box
And
of
the guy's
spiders.
like, it's fur, and he looks in the corner, and it's a spider. It's like, spiders. And the government's like, yep, works for me.
Checks
Or
out.
the grant, or whoever's granting the grant, or whatever.
Government. There needs to be more studies that are just fascinating and not helpful at all.
Yeah.
Spider art. Okay, so what I was saying is, lit method ruined my day. No, I got up so early and did a 40-minute nonstop heart rate up workout, and then my day, it was the longest day I've lived it ever.
Well, also, may I ask you a question?
You just did.
Did you get sweaty?
Did I get sweaty? I can't remember the last time I sweat that much.
I would suggest that maybe that also ruined your day.
You think? Oh, by the way, I said it once, but we should mention now that we're really diving in. LIT method is what we're talking about, the class that we both tried. It stands for Low Impact Training Technology. Training. Anyway.
Massachusetts Impact Training Technologies.
Why don't they call it MIT? Yeah, I went to MIT.
They're too smart for that. They're like,
Is it
really?
2 T's?
Mm.
Yeah, I got super sweaty. I do believe I showered immediately after because one staff, well, I don't really worry about that because you weren't like rolling around on the ground like a kickboxing workout or anything.
Yeah, you're not transferring your sweat with other sweat. You're just sweating a lot. Other people, the worry with skin diseases or transmitted diseases like that is your sweat mixes with somebody else's sweat, or you get someone else's sweat
Wrestling.
on you.
Right.
Wrestling's a big one. Combat sports are a big one. Right. But any sort of a workout class where they don't wipe down the equipment well enough, and now we know that a lot of it from 2020.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Sure.
Even though that's respiratory, but not. But skin disease, like big time. The only time I ever got any skin junk was at national tournaments. Because there was just a million kids from a million different parts of the country, and they didn't wipe down everything.
Big old petri dish.
It was disgusting.
Wow.
But it also gave me a healthy not care about skin diseases at all. like ringworm, I'm like I don't care. Whereas the normal person is horrified by ringworm. They think it's like the plague or whatever.
Huh.
Are you scared of ringworm?
Yeah, that sounds horrible, but the name.
Ringworm, it's got a crappy name. Whoever's marketing in the marketing department of Ringworm really screwed
Really
up.
blew it.
If they call it like Angel Halo, I've said this for years. They call it like pretty girl Halo or whatever.
Sure,
then
that's
everyone
a
would be like,
Beyonce song
"Ooh,
probably.
Yeah, I got PGH. You know what I mean? Whereas Ringworm sounds like there's a worm under your skin, and it's like aliens or Predator or whatever. Like it's gonna pulse out.
Okay, so I don't need to worry.
But it's
that
not.
much.
It's literally a circle of dry skin. You put some goo on it, and it's gone within like 18 hours. Basically.
What if you don't put goo on it?
If you don't put goo on it, then you give it to someone else every time.
That's it.
That's it.
It doesn't like spread on you, or you just covered in rings. It's just like you have it, and someone else gets it.
I think it depends on your immune system. I think unchecked or whatever, it'll go away in like a week probably.
No, you can just destroy it yourself.
It's like a topical. It's a fungal infection.
Okay.
So if you get any of that stuff, just put the cream on it and it's gone like really that quick. I had a friend who had his. What gets messed up is when like my friend's cat had ringworm, and so then he was really screwed because the cat had fur, so he couldn't see it, and then the cat would like rub on him, and then he gets.
You shave the cat. You gotta shave the cat at that point.
Yeah, that's what I forget what they had to do. But he like kept dabbing himself. This is like a fancy pants high end lawyer, and so he's in like a law office and he's all paranoid about appearances and stuff like that. And so then we were at like a meeting, and he's like, I'm just so embarrassed that I have ringworm. And I'm like chomping down on like a steak sandwich or something. Oh, I got ringworm all the time. That's not a big deal. And he was like, I can't tell you how comforting that is. Or how good that makes me feel.
Sweet.
And I'm like, yeah. Should we get onion rings? Speaking of which.
Your role in life is just to be some schlub to make everyone else feel better. That's so lovely.
Yeah. You gotta put the cream on it. Also, let's get some ranch.
Speaking of cream.
Yeah.
Great idea. Oh, that's funny. Well, I said a 1, but the second reason that I showered is because you brought up that thing about hangovers and like immediately needing to shower after sweating because the toxins are on your skin. I never thought about that before. My own toxins, not somebody else from the curl machine at LA Fitness. It's the stuff that came out of me.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit in that.
Get rid of them. Although it is also my opinion that once they're out of your body and they're on your skin, they're not going to do as much damage. Yeah, I don't think you're like sucking up beer through your pores. You know what I mean? Or are you? Next Ali Spagnola video. I got
butt chugging. Have you heard of skin chugging?
I got skin hammered.
Skin hammered.
Skin drunk.
Oh man.
But so anyway, so I guess what I was saying was, if you work out first thing in the morning and you do like a bodybuilding workout, typically I feel fine. But if I get like sweaty and gross and sticky, then that'll mess up my whole day. And then if I'm used to showering first thing in the morning and I don't, for example, then I feel like I'm not woken up. Or if I'm used to showering like right before I go to bed, sometimes I can't fall asleep or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes the timing of the shower can mess me up a little bit.
Dual shower.
Triple shower.
It's a special time. What? That's happened before in
my
the history
heyday,
of humans?
Yeah, in my heyday, I was 2-3 showers a day. That really sucked.
Big water's coming for you. Or the other way around. People that care about the planet and you're like, relax, stay dirtier.
Those people that care about the planet.
Me, obviously.
If only that were every person, I suppose.
Yes,
anyway, so let's talk about what lit method is.
Okay.
Lit method. First of all, so lit. How many times did you scream "This is lit" in your class?
Yeah.
1 million.
Well, what sucks is that the word lit is so trendy right now, almost on the end of the trend, and it's gonna go south. It's gonna be the next rad. It's gonna be the
rad.
Not. Remember that? Remember you to be like, that's a cool shirt. Not. And like such a burn. Okay, that statement is in Aladdin, and I think about this all the time. Disney's supposed to be timeless classics, and then at some point things went south and they started saying things like not. And as a kid, I thought this was fine because I thought that's just how everyone talked, and I didn't realize that it would become very dated. Disappointed in them.
Did you go back and watch Aladdin recently?
No, I've been thinking about it.
You've been thinking about
it? One time. It's not timeless.
It's timeless.
Evergreen.
Not.
It got me. We should bring it back because that's hilarious. Super funny to say the exact opposite of what you mean and then yell the word not.
I don't know how it caught on, frankly. It's so dumb.
Iago, obviously.
Iago.
Now you're just following the trend. Anyway, lit method is the new knot. I'm sorry that their name is that. I don't think they were going for that when it was just an acronym.
Right, low impact. And I like low impact a lot, actually.
I hurt myself a lot, actually.
By
Not doing low impact, I mean in general.
From impact.
Yeah, from impact.
I mean, every time... And when I say impact, I in my brain, I initially think like jumping on stuff or jumping off of stuff. But it's a snatch. That's an impact. Or it's
running.
Running's an impact.
You know, low impact method it has, I quote from their website, no running. That's like a thing that they assert. The running is not a thing you should do.
I agree.
Yeah.
I subscribe.
Me too.
Except
when the CrossFit workout says run, then I'll do it.
Right.
With a weighted vest.
Because I gotta win.
So I got more impact from the extra gravity that's hitting my chest.
And you should run on those bouncy shoes or something.
Oh, I've been wanting to do that. I can kind of like fudge that as a fitness video, right?
Yeah, why not?
Then it's a business expense to get moon shoes.
There was the at VidCon, the Amazon people. They were like, well, you know, if you make a video about it, you can put it on Amazon, and technically that's a business expense. And I was like, did you just give me free reign to buy anything on Amazon? I'll see if I can find anything on Amazon that I want to buy. And then suddenly
use taxes as an argument.
Right? It's crazy. Anyway, so I liked the no running. I do like not running. I really like not running.
Big fan of the not running. But I got my heart rate up as though I was running, which is great. The one good thing about running is that it's guaranteed to get your heart rate up there.
It's exercise.
But it's so miserable doing it. I was not miserable doing lit method.
Running is miserable. Is there any situation where running is not miserable? Running from the police.
There we go, because you're thinking about what the heck you're going to get caught for.
Right.
Or are you still miserable?
Running after.
I feel like even if the cops were chasing me, I'd still be like, God, I hate running.
And you're like, hold on, I gotta...
Yeah. Let me count this.
Sorry. Are you guys wearing your Apple Watches? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of running, even though I used to like running a lot. I like walking the dog a lot, but he doesn't really like walking. Yeah, running's... Ugh. And I think there's a lot of underrated stresses on your ankles and knees from running, especially on pavement. Mm-hmm. And getting hit by a bus. That's never fun.
No. That's definitely a running concern. Not with rowing.
Not with rowing.
No buses.
So the lit method machine looks like a rower, but it also has all these other clips in with rubber band or resistance
strength bands, yeah.
And so they're very creative with how they clip in and do different stuff.
Yeah. You can put them in all different spots, and then one set of bands is like really thick that you can use them like battle ropes.
Yeah. Which
was cool. It felt different than battle ropes, but like as challenging.
Yeah. Battle ropes are typically like a lot heavier.
Mm-hmm.
These are a little bit stretchier, but
the idea that it stretches what you're doing, it makes it even harder.
Right. The rope's pulling against you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is something you don't get with those big fat ropes. Sorry, I don't mean to fat shame those ropes.
Shame the ropes.
They're just really woven. You know what I mean? It's not their fault they were woven that way.
Yeah, sure that. And battle ropes take up a lot more space too. They're kind of annoying to.
I've never had battle ropes at my house, whereas we both had the lit method machine at our homes, and
in my yard too. You don't have to plug it in.
Yeah. Do you like rowing? Have you ever rowed before?
I've rowed before. I like rowing because it's definitely that one and the assault bike. They just get total body heart rate up immediately.
Big time.
It's like you're like, okay, I'd like to do an interval, and as soon as you start, boom, your heart does that, and then you can stay up there, and then you can stop and recover. Whereas, yeah, with running, you kind of have to get your heart going. It almost feels like, I guess it's not total body, right? Your arms really aren't doing anything.
Right.
So it's really easy to get red line really fast. I'm a fan.
And I feel exactly the same way about those two machines. In fact, those are probably the only two machines that I can think of that will get you that high.
Immediately pukey is the term that I like to use, yeah.
Not an elliptical.
No.
Not a Not the skier.
Stairmaster even?
Not the.
Because that's...
You maybe, but you're not doing upper body.
Yeah,
Unless
no
you're
upper.
like holding on to the
Right, yeah.
Unless you fall and you just have to hang there. Just get your shins clipped by the stairs. You know how it goes. Ding, 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 you know.
Let go. Max, let go.
I'm like, no, I gotta make it to the top.
It's almost there.
I'll never let go. So you have rode before.
Yes, with you. And you told me I was doing it wrong, which I still have not changed my form since. I'm trying. I mean, I feel like I'm doing it correctly. It's just a bunch of snatches over and over. You're just sitting down doing a snatch.
Very, very close.
Triple extension, right? You're going from down to all three. Triple extension meaning your knees, your hips, and what's the other one?
Torso, I don't know. Back.
Yeah. Oh, ankles.
Hinge.
Ankles. Yeah, knees, hips, all extend all at once. So, I guess you're not really. You don't point your toes.
On the limited machine, you can point your toe. The thing moves a little bit.
Oh yeah, it cupped my heels, which was cool.
That was really nice.
Anyway.
The way you row is, people think you pull everything at the same time. The way you row is you condense first, then you extend your legs, but you're still leaning forward. Then you lean back once your legs are extended. Then you pull with your arms at the very end.
So the momentum of that really, it ends up being a push workout, not a pull workout, because you're pushing with your feet.
Right. You're leg pushing.
Yeah.
And hips pushing, or hips hinging.
Extending, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they do say that in the class, too. He was hammering that home as soon as we started rowing. He was like, knees, hips, arms, and then reverse it, arms hips,
core,
knees.
Legs, core, arms, core,
go.
legs. I think is how he said it, which I've heard that before, but it's an easier way to say it.
You see how he holds?
He lets it go and grabs it. He's like a maestro. It's amazing.
Yeah, and he barely touches it. Like his pinkies kind of come out, so I'm like death grip on it, with no thumbs though, because in ballet you've probably seen this with Brittany. Your thumb goes over the bar, so you're not to try and stop you from death gripping. I still do, but he's just like conducting a symphony.
He's like a magician. He's doing this little
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Maybe I should try that more.
I think the reason is your arms will burn out first.
Right. Of course.
And if once your arms burn out, then you can't really do it anymore. So,
and that's also why every CrossFit workout is the same movement, using your hips, because this is the most powerful thing. And their goal in CrossFit, I'm tapping into my L1 knowledge here as a level 1 CrossFit.
The goal is to get you to sign up and buy more classes.
Every workout they want to generate as much horsepower as possible. I did not know this doing CrossFit, and it was fascinating to learn. So they basically want to expend as much energy as you can in the workout. And so the way to do that is to use the biggest, most strongest muscles. So that's why you end up always driving through your hips. Even if you're doing pull-ups, you're using your hips to help you get over, because that's more energy used than if you were just doing strict pull-ups.
Right.
So with the specific goal of generating the most horsepower, you find yourself doing box jumps and overhead squats and wall balls and the same kind of pushing away with your hips when you're rowing.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if you're rationing, you have a bunch of one thing.
And you're trying to go as hard and as long as possible.
You use up the most of what you have most first, then the second, then the last, then the
rationing,
last.
that's such a good way of looking at it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I had to do that a lot. I had to ration my energy.
Sure.
All the time. In life.
You're just hip thrusting all the time.
Like I could do about 1,000 hip thrusts, but I can only read about 6 pages at a time. So. But anyway, so I have rowed quite a lot. I had a lot of friends and crew. I don't like crew. I think it's one of the dumbest sports of all time. Right up there with running and swimming. So I don't really like it. However, I've done it a lot, ironically, and I have because I have a lot of friends who did it, and I also recognize that it was a really, really good exercise.
You're talking about on a rower or actual rowed in water, like the original Viking thing that was invented?
Crew the sport.
Yeah, you've done it?
I've rowed crew before.
What?
And it is so stupid.
Oh.
It is so dumb. There's no... The thing about crew is it's fun to be in a boat. It's fun. You're in a rowboat.
Is that fun?
Yeah, it's kind of fun. The first time.
You seem like not a boat person.
On a river? Yeah, I'm fine on a river.
Okay.
In the middle of in the Atlantic? No, I'm not. I'm not dying to be on a rowboat. Call me crazy.
Because you got to drive all the way to the Atlantic for some reason and then get in a boat.
Right. Well, I would row there probably.
Okay. Yeah,
Panama Canal.
Thank God for Theodore Roosevelt.
A man playing a canal.
Yeah. Panama.
So, rowing crew, it's dumb because it's cool because it's a really good workout and the winning team is very in sync with each other. It's not cool because there's no creativity whatsoever. You just go fast. And there's also no defense, so it's not a real sport. So those are the two
That's your criteria?
Yeah.
Okay. Fish can swim away from the hook. Is fishing a sport?
Are they? I mean, not for humans, I guess. It's a sport for fish.
It's a really great sport, just not for my species.
And they're pretty bad at it, apparently.
Wow.
Also, do they know they're playing?
Oh.
Is there a...
No, that's a part of it. Huh. Wow. What sport do I not know that I'm playing? How are you getting manipulated? Oh, the sport of my data.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm losing
Economics.
the sport of... Lord. You're making a lot of enemies on this podcast.
Yeah, big data. That's a bad one. Fish. That was not so bad. Spiders.
Spiders.
Spiders. I'm more worried about the spider crowd than the rowing crowd. The rowing crowd, they would never find me. They're stuck in their room on their little ergometer in their basement. Another thing I don't like about rowers, now that we're on this topic, they're all losers. But another thing I really don't like about rowers is that in crew you have to have a total or average, I forget how they do it, but the way they make it fair is it's a total weight of humans on the boat. So that's how they're like...
Oh, weird.
Right,
it's like wrestling, but combined humans?
Right.
Weird.
So then this one guy...
Do they wear your clothes?
My math teacher, I think you weigh in, generally. And
like a Muay Thai fight or something.
But my English teacher, who was also the rowing coach in high school, was like, oh, man... I came in one day and I was all sucked out because I was cutting weight. And he was like, oh, you cutting weight? I know what that's like. Brutal. I remember rowing in the boiler room in sweats. Man, that was tough. And I was like, oh, that's cool, man. I didn't know that you guys did that. That's really hard. And he was like, yeah. And then it's tough because I'd do it on Friday and weigh in, and then I may or may not be ready to go on Sunday. And I'm like, wait, so you had 2 full days to recover? And he was like, yeah, man, it's so hard. I'm like, really? I had 40 minutes. So, yeah, I think you're just being a total hardo for no reason whatsoever. So, it's like saying to someone, it's like saying to like a marathon runner, it's like, yeah, man, I ran a marathon cumulatively over the course of my life. I'm like,
so
cool,
I
man.
Understand you.
So, yeah,
wow.
rowers are not, whatever.
Well,
but
it's also weird that you have a team relying on someone else to also cut weight.
Well, it's a total weight in the boat, I think, or
Yeah.
it's an average weight. I can't remember.
Huh. So then the person yelling at the front also, that's why they're small. Oh.
Toxin.
Yes.
They're small because
I know
they're
I
not...
don't want to say it because I wouldn't want to say it wrong. It's a questionable one.
Wow. And
we
then
get dinged.
It is Coxswain. Coxswain is how it's spelled.
Yeah.
And then they're very quick to call themselves the Cox.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't have to say that. You can.
Okay.
And they're like, no, man, I'm the Cox because I'm so small. That's why I'm the Cox.
So
And
that's
I'm
why
like,
they're little
got
and
it.
noisy.
Got it. Yeah.
Do they really hold a thing?
A megaphone?
Yeah.
They used to hold one. Now I think it's they're mic'd up. They have
So their one job was like having the shoulder strength to hold the thing up, and now they're digitally enhanced.
They have the Britney Spears mic, I think.
Oh, that's
typically.
cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. Anything that Britney does is pretty cool. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So what the Cox will
I
do
wear a
is
harness too, just
they have a little bit of strategy because they're like, all right, we're gonna pull hard for a 10 count or whatever. Like they're pulling ahead, we got to keep up with them, or
So they have to sense how the team is doing and how.
right.
But they don't have to.
But they're not doing anything.
Do they still do the workouts?
Yeah, they do for no reason.
But really?
Yeah, and they do it poorly because they're 4 feet tall, whereas the crew guys are 19 feet tall. So their
So
levers are
weird.
incredible.
We have our one little tiny friend that we bring with us so we can do better.
And then when they win, they throw him in the water, or her.
Oh. Huh, that's cute.
And also, what I do like about crew is I think, and I'm not sure about this in upper levels, but I know in high school, nobody cared if it was like a girl coxswain on a guy's
That's
crew
allowed?
team or vice versa. I think because, well, maybe it was just my school, like not enough people. They didn't have enough people,
Yeah.
so like whatever. And
Well-
we need somebody there, get in the boat, who cares? So I don't know, but nobody really made a big stink out of it.
And guys would yell for girls too, just because you think the guys would be naturally bigger.
Yeah, I mean it's high school, so and maybe they pulled up middle school. Again, there wasn't a ton of people doing crew in my high school, so maybe it's just like the 9 guys they had.
There's a
They're
thing.
like, whatever, just get in the boat.
At Carnegie Mellon, we have this thing called buggy, where you build a device to shove down a hill.
Soapbox derby.
Yeah,
Is that
and
what it's called?
it's like that, but they got so technologically advanced. It's now the smallest woman on campus lays on her stomach with her hands in front of her face, holding the wheel and controlling, and it looks like a long human shape. Well, not even human shape, just like a long human length bullet
Oh my
with
god,
a handle coming out the back
that's
up
horrifying.
to the person that's shoving it, and then they push them down the hill.
Like a luge. Or,
Yeah, but you're on your stomach and.
there's a skeleton bobsled.
Kinda
Do you know
like
what I'm talking
that.
about?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
But they're on their back, right?
They're on their stomach, but their arms are behind their head. They're
Okay.
They're going helmet first,
Yeah.
face first.
Yeah.
Like it's horrifying.
It's like that.
But
And it ends up.
but they're not
that-
driving. Oh, I guess they are driving. Wait, are they going head first? Maybe they're going feet first.
I think it's feet.
Maybe I'm
Well,
messing that up.
this one's head. And then if they end up recruiting, the guys' team will even still have a girl driver.
Right. So
And they build the machine around her. To get her in is a process. The whole thing is nonsense.
that sounds horrifying.
And people are obsessed with it. I mean, me too, obviously. It's super early. It's during our homecoming. We call it carnival. And you just wake up and... I mean, I took my own buggy, which was a cooler scooter. And I drove it to...
So you weren't the smallest girl on campus?
No, there was way smaller.
Get out of
By
here.
like an inch. I think I was asked to be recruited, but their practices were super early.
Did you
before
feed her
class.
like milk and try to get her to grow taller and stuff like that, like slip her calcium pills or whatever? Get her-
Oh, yeah. So we can.
I don't know what's happening. I guess I'll have to step in. So how'd you do?
I didn't do it.
I thought you said you made your own.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, what I was getting at is that I would drink and watch the games. I mean, the people who spectate were drunk at 9 a.m. watching it happen.
Of course.
So that was the best part of buggy, unless you were super into the engineering and or driving or the sport of it.
The sport.
It's weird though. It's such a strange tradition. It seemed normal when you're there.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
It's in college.
There's a
yeah.
lot of those in college. I mean, we did regular stuff like streaking, I guess, but we did a lot of
That feels
slosh
very
ball.
our parents' thing to do. You did that?
Yeah, and it sucked because I had hurt my knee, so I had a cane.
So you're just
So I was just
okay.
So I was just like, hey, everybody.
Got a clear
This is
cane.
stupid.
So imagine this
Yeah.
is stupid hobbling along.
We had a brunch, I guess, boozy brunch, for seniors.
Mm.
We were wine drunk at 9:15 in the morning. That was really tough.
Solid. Yeah, we're not allowed to do that unless it involves engineering.
Right.
Uh,
Whatever hoops we have to jump through, just so we can have a couple of
Figurative.
a morning wine, I guess.
yeah. Yeah, Carnival, we also build booths, which also kind of explains now
Mm-hmm.
what my life has become.
Really informing. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting a lot more informed about
Yeah.
you.
The origin story of the superhero that is me.
What was your booth?
My senior year, I was the booth chair, so I designed it. Oh, I designed the year before too as a junior, so that's
Wow, what a weird flex. Possibly the weirdest flex of all time.
I wasn't even good at it though, because I am really bad at delegating, so I ended up doing a lot of the stuff instead of getting help, which is stupid. But we made a giant gumball machine, so the gumball was human sized, so you could go in. It was 2 stories, and there's this big blow up gumball top to it with balloons inside that were like bouncing around.
But you could go in?
Yeah, and then you could go in the bottom and play games, and there was like...
Oh my god, that's insane. How many people died?
Look, we all really cared for Tara. But her death will not be in vain because I got great photos.
And that's what she signed up for.
Yeah.
Human gumball? What did you think was going to happen? You go to college to get educated. That's cool. 2 stories?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds huge.
Or the one before it, I made a giant claw machine. I guess I had like a theme going. People would just make themed buildings. Like there was one that was Star Wars, and so it was just sort of... The dudes would always do 2 stories, if not 3.
Gotta show off.
But yeah. We had a claw machine.
Yours is 2 stories? Mine's 3 stories.
3. It really is that, too.
It's no big deal. A lot of people are talking about it, but it's no big deal.
There's like a show-off element of how much wood you reused from the year before, too. Because you'll build this thing and then take it down, and then next year you build another one. So it's just there for... It's the weirdest, most ephemeral artwork that... Yeah. But you can get points for reusing your wood and like being economical.
Cool.
Yeah, it's odd.
Should we go for a field trip?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? It just happened this year. It's in April. Next year.
Start your clocks. 11 months from now. Hey Siri, remind me in 11 months to go to that thing at Carnegie Mellon. Sorry, what?
But the point of that is we had to build an insane structure over months. Mm-hmm. To then be like, okay, we'll take 3 days off and have a homecoming and enjoy our structures, and then have to immediately take them down.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm. So you've never rowed on a boat? Have you ever been in a
rowed on a boat? No. Oh, one of those ducks that you pedal. I've done that.
With your arms. You never rowed a... did you do it with your arms?
Yes.
Sorry, babe, it's arm day.
Just like buggy. No, I don't think I've ever been in a rowboat. Who has access to a rowboat?
Everyone on the East Coast. Oh, well, and water. But you guys got lakes or rivers or whatever in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, 3 of them. You know what's weird? You face the wrong way.
When you're rowing?
The first guy to start rowing was definitely like trying to...
He was like,
go this direction.
No, he was like, check out my lats, baby. Yeah. Whoa.
No, it would be push. He'd be pushing.
Well, he's trying to show off his lats, so he's pulling.
He had to... I mean, I was saying he was doing it wrong at first.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Can you imagine trying to row the other way?
Yeah, I could. I guess that'd be fun.
I would want to flip around if I'd been rowing for a while. And like, I'll just try pushing.
Well, the problem is your feet are your anchor.
Yeah.
So you push and you just like lean back.
Oh, you gotta face forward.
You row.
You gotta lay on your stomach.
Your hands don't move. You just lean all the way back.
So people that do rowing workouts never have a push day?
No, they have huge backs.
That's it.
Deficit chests.
They
look really good. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They're tall. They're V-shaped.
They're very wide.
They have these little itty bitty waists and legs, and they lats, a lot of lats. They look great. So if you want to look good, you can start rowing crew.
Yeah, I thought it was a prerequisite. You just couldn't start rowing unless you looked good, but it's the other way around.
There's a lot of overlap too, and I guess I shouldn't really say that because the people who are good at swimming. They probably started because they had those weird swimmer bodies anyway.
Yeah, where they can like walk around playing drums on their ankles because their arms are so long.
Right. Huge arms, tiny little legs. Little itty bitty leg.
They said that about Michael Phelps. He's some sort of genetic freak, the way he's shaped.
His proportions?
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't bother me.
In the perfect way.
Yeah. Webbed
Yeah,
hands.
he's got webbed. Those gills really help.
That's what I was going to say. The tail. No, I don't know.
Not to discredit how much work you put in. It's got to be both. You got to be lucky and hardworking.
Right. but also I hate swimming as a sport. I don't want to be bashing on all these sports.
Well, but there's so many different types of swimming that you can do
Right.
and get all of those medals for each of the different types.
That's true.
I'm just pushing buttons at this point. I know he hates
I
that.
hate it so much.
Well, there's one type of wrestling, so.
There's two types,
Oh,
and
two.
they're both
Regular.
like stupid. They're stupid, like idiotic versions of what wrestling should be. They've changed it a couple times to fit the Olympics and to make it more exciting, but it's so dumb. But what Allie's saying about what I hate about swimming is I'm like, why are there strokes? You know, swimming should be like, all right, get there, go ahead.
Well, when everybody
First
just
one
uses
there
it.
wins. You know, that's it. So like,
And you're rowing.
right? And, yeah, I got a boat. You know. So anyway, I'm not a big swimmer.
So they changed wrestling to make it higher points or something?
Yeah, they made it more exciting and higher action, but
Right,
in-
WWE.
In yeah, and they've perfected it. WWE is perfected.
Rushing it.
But international style, it's called freestyle wrestling. Like it's more
Everything
of a
has to
dance
rhyme.
now than
A dance?
It's way more of a dance than anything else. It's they've taken out you don't wrestle on the ground anymore. There's no mat wrestling in international wrestling.
Really?
Because it's not exciting enough.
So when you go down...
They just you get to go down for about half a second, and then they blow the whistle. They're like, stop, back on your feet. That's it.
That's
It's
odd.
So dumb. But they tried to make it more exciting for the international community.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, jiu-jitsu, which I'm just like looking at two
I know.
knotted humans doing nothing.
You're like, whose knee is that? Oh, it's broken! But in theory, to the high level, that's dumbing it down.
Yeah.
To the high level trained triple black belt, quadruple master jiu-jitsu trainer or whatever, I'm sure he's like, wow, this is really interesting. He tried to do this and that guy counted that, so in theory, they like dumbed it down for the spectator, for the viewer. That's just a shame.
That's surprising that the Olympics would do that. You think it's like the height of human ability.
Right, but the Olympics is not the height of human ability.
Well, now it's also sponsored by McDonald's.
Exactly. And they try to get rid of wrestling, and they have snowboarding, but not baseball. You know what I mean? Like, they have all these weird freak twists in the Olympics that make it so dumb.
So are we gonna...
I'm really bashing on everything today. I came in here with like a positive, happy outlook. I'm like, yeah, I got a good workout in. I'm
Take
like,
a dump on
spiders are stupid, and fish are stupid, and rowing is, you know what I mean? Like, everything's great. I like everything. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I guess I just got all my buttons pushed.
We can't all be positive swimmers.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I mean, like, the Olympics, I don't, not a super fan. And it's a bummer, because growing up, you're like, yeah, the Olympics is the height of human achievement.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the Bionic Olympics, where we got, like, fake joints
Robots.
and lots of drugs and
Tons
anything.
of drugs.
Just go nuts.
Yeah.
See what you can do.
Let's see what we as a race can really do. Somebody like
go.
shirt off and his wings come out and everyone's like, oh man.
Basketball's gonna be so cool.
And what a move from the Icelander. That's good.
So, are we gonna start a curling team or what?
Sure.
Let me tell you how many production companies I've pitched this to, because I really want it to happen. The idea of me starting out being like, everyone watches the Olympics curling and goes, I could do that
Oh, I
with a
could
beer
do
in
that.
their hand from their couch. So this is me trying to do that. And then I just document if I can get anywhere near good at it, let
Yeah.
alone to the Olympics. But man.
The other option would be you just have like an average person has to compete. One guy has to compete in every event. So you have like a yardstick of like,
Yeah.
because you're like, wow, that guy's slow. Like what a loser, slow. He only had like a 9.83.
Yeah.
Those other guys had 9.77s. You know, and whereas like you, if you got off the couch, would be a 14 second. You know, like a 40 second. You know, like
Yeah.
it would be an absolute joke.
I think I've talked about this before too, where you watch someone snowboarding and it's like, whoa, that's incredible, right? But if you, before watching them snowboard, just stood at the top of a half pipe, not even tried snowboarding, just looked down at what they got into to do that, you would have more appreciation.
Yeah, it's scary. I've never half piped. Have you?
Oh, straight down the middle.
Still counts.
I've done it.
Still counts.
Sick.
Call Guinness.
Call Guinness. What's up? Where did it go? Oh, they're down there.
Yeah.
Alright, so I didn't watch your video. Your rowing video.
I don't watch your rowing video, but we've been in each other's rowing videos.
That's true. We did a rowing beer mile.
The thing I do like about rowing is, like we've said before about assault bike, you can try as hard as you possibly can and not get injured. There's not a lot of things you can do that with.
Yeah.
Like if you sprint as hard as you can and it's funny pavement or something, like you can twist an ankle pretty bad, your joints are gonna get messed up. If you like,
I know I want to do a video where I try and hurt myself on a rower.
it's not impossible, I'm sure, but it's pretty difficult, and you're gonna.
Oh, you could drown. This one has water in it.
Drown.
Honestly, I just wanted to bring that up. The water part was cool.
The water part was
I'd have
awesome.
only ever rowed on... No, actually, I have tried a water rower before, but like usually at a CrossFit gym, it's a chain or a fan or whatever. It doesn't feel...
It doesn't feel as good. It doesn't feel as smooth.
Right.
There's something about it. I can't really put my finger on it, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, the perfect response of the way liquid moves around the paddles feels... Yeah, cool.
I bet it's the way that, like, when you're ramping up in your work from not pulling to pulling as hard as you can.
The
I bet
harder
the water
you pull, it's sort of... There's a tension
ramp.
increase.
Yeah,
ramp.
I bet it's like a smoother from 0 to 100% effort or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine Concept is trying to match that, but they're not doing it. They're not getting God's water correct. The nature's perfect force curve.
But it's fun to do, and it's fun to hear that squish. That's
Yeah.
a really fun sound. And I know these are like sort of ticky-tack things, but when you're working out, sometimes those things really help. You know? Like, oh, I don't really want to do this. My shirt looks great though, or like these new straps. I love these.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever.
No, for sure. Put on your sports bra. Did you ever watch House of Cards?
Yeah, he has a row.
He would occasionally row, and there was just something weird, cool, ominous about
that sound.
Him like huffing and puffing and sweating through that slosh. I loved those scenes.
Yeah.
It made me want a water rower.
And I'm rowing on this trash Concept too. I'm like, ugh, this is awful.
Ugh.
Something I didn't know existed until 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, right.
The water's really cool. Which one did you do? Strength or row?
Row plus strength.
Row plus strength. That was my favorite too.
Yeah, and he was like, what did he say? This is leg day? I don't even remember. He either said this is leg day or arm day or upper day. I think he said this is leg day. And he just annihilated my arms too. Like, what are you talking about?
You're like, chill. It's leg day. I hate to see arm day.
Yeah, so it was definitely total body.
It's total body.
How did you feel about 40 minutes nonstop?
I loved it.
Was there a stop for you? I was not sure if mine was different than others.
No. The stop would be like, all right, now let your feet out. We're going to click these handles in here. Or like make sure you grab your handles. But there wasn't like a...
Yeah, it wasn't
stop.
intervals. It was like, if this is the graph of my heart rate, it was boop right around 150 the whole time.
It's also one of the nice ones where like it's not a stop, it's like a low intensity is your rest. Like instead of a sprint stop, it's a sprint jog.
Still going. Yeah, active recovery. I think that's what it's called.
Poindexter. She must have went to Carnegie Mellon. But I liked that a lot because that reminded me of old workouts, and I find it's easier to not keep my heart rate up, but like not. I don't love going from a
you get your brain
full
out
expenditure to a dead stop to it. Yeah.
There is something nice about steady state where it's like just stay in it,
just
stay in it, versus you have to go full out and then nothing.
Yeah, and then just sit there and contemplate life for a couple of minutes, and you're like, wait, what am I doing? Why am I going again? Oh.
The intervals that Borstein gives Not that I actually do the conditioning that he gives, but it'll be like 3 minutes rest, non-negotiable. Like, you have to wait, you have to sit for 3 minutes and then go as hard as you can and then sit for 3 minutes. And it's pretty crazy, but he's serious about it because he wants you to go as hard as possible in the work time.
Right.
And if you go too soon, you're not getting the same type of stimulus.
But I wonder about that. Like, is that like I was talking earlier about rationing energy? I would ration energy in a wrestling practice because I wasn't in charge of what I was doing. And I would have to sort of put my trust in somebody else, my coach, to either say like, yeah, you need another set, or God forbid, be like, nope, you're done. Like, take a shower, go home, you know?
Yeah.
And on top of that, I'm not the only one. I'm one of 25 or 30 people doing the same workout, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder sometimes now when I'm doing my own workouts, I'm tracking like, okay, I'll do a set of this. I'll probably do 2 or 3 sets of this. But it is 2 or 3. And I am tracking, I'm pushing as hard as I can in this set, and I'm resting a little while, and I'm pushing again as hard as I can. Do I have another full set in me? Should I just stop right now? Could I go drop this or do that? Like, that to me is where it gets a little specific, I guess.
Or, is the value of doing a set at like half speed actually harming you more than if you're just stopping, recovering, and coming at full speed again days later?
Or is there an advantage to that?
Right. I'm definitely one. I just run myself into the ground. I'm like, no, I can't do any further. That must have been a workout.
I did exercise.
Exercise.
Yeah, it's probably. And for certain things, you do want to do that. Cardiovascular stuff, or you want your heart to be able to take a beating, kind of.
Pun. But it was
take that, Carnegie Mellon. Next time I'll apply. Speaking of 40 minutes though, I did really like being like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll just have somebody yell at me for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Not yell at me, but yell at me.
Tell you what to do.
And that was really, there are times when I do like to pick my own stuff, and there are definitely times when I'm like, I don't know. Can someone just tell me? Mm-hmm. That was really fun. And it was that, like, I don't think they specifically have the best trainers on the planet, because I think once you hit that level of happiness and optimism and enthusiasm, all trainers are really great. Mm-hmm. You know?
Can non-stop.
It's like there's bad bartenders, and then there's passable, and all the good ones are wonderful. You know what I mean? And I fall in love with every single bartender I've ever had. You know what I mean? So I think that the trainers were great in that sense of, like, they're excited to be there. They got me excited to be there.
Well, everyone that I was working out with was so excited to be there. Justin, the founder for whom I worked out. Mm-hmm. With whom I worked out.
For whom?
Well, honestly, doesn't it feel like that? We had a whole series based on Fitness Misfits where we would try and impress the trainer. Yeah. Because it feels like when you go to a workout, it really is like, did I win? Did I win the workout? And then you're like...
Do you love me? I mean, do you approve of me? I mean, do I get your...
Am I a valuable human being?
Yes, exactly. And they're like, no, come back next week. And you're like, okay.
Anyway, he was telling me that they call it the bolt cult because the lit method has a bolt, lightning bolt for the logo. And bolt cult. Yeah. And after he left, all of the people that were still there that I worked out next to were like, we come every time Justin coaches. We specifically want to work with him. Mm-hmm. Well, one girl was like, I just come all the freaking time. But they were very super into it, and they all knew each other. Oh, that's really fun. It was a cool vibe,
A cult where everybody... Calling something a cult is one thing, but, like, it's a community. Yeah, sure. It's like a bunch of friends that you actually know and like.
Yeah, and I read that...
But Bolt Cult, we gotta work on that. That is
really? You don't like it?
I don't love it.
I thought it was great.
Bolt Cult?
Because, it's hard to say it. Mayor's Lawyers. Rural Juror. That was from 30 Rock.
The Cult Bolt. Wait.
We gotta workshop it. Anyway, I read about how religion's gone. I feel, I bring this up a lot.
Love it,
that there's no religion anymore, really, that it's not as prominent as it was in the community, and It used to be a place where people could go and have community and have a transcendent experience and feel like they're a part of something. And guess what we do? That now at CrossFit, at
Lit method.
At SoulCycle, you have a
45.
transcendent experience with the same people at the same time every week. Yeah.
I thought the study was at like our generation, or was it
Yeah.
or was it just the amount of people in this time, or
Yeah.
was it younger people? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't know. I think they're all on TikTok.
Totally. And they're all following.
TikTok is the new religion.
Yeah.
Lizzo is our god.
Fair enough.
I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, I love the idea of going back to class, especially after this last 2 years or whatever, when no one's socializing and
Yeah, if you could see the same people.
it's so
And
much fun.
yeah, it was cool. They're all really sweet to me too. I biked there and they're like, "Uh-oh, you shouldn't have done that." Then afterwards, like, "How are you gonna get home?" And I was like, "I'm very tired. I don't know." It honestly took me twice as long to get home than to get there.
I wish you had like a sleeping bag, and you're like,
Yeah.
"What do you mean, babe? I'm going to the 11:30 class."
Oh, just gotta recover.
Are you not staying? Okay.
Mhm.
Interesting. I love how you can just like leave, you know what I mean?
Not me, I'm dedicated.
Yeah.
So, should we start going?
I'm down.
Alright.
It's a little early. It's a little early.
Well, they
in the
have the
day
evening
for me.
classes too.
Yeah.
They have like 6:30 ones. That's reasonable.
It's normal.
They're probably even more crowded.
Oh, I'm sure. Was
Mine
it
was not crowded.
Was it hot? Because I did realize that one thing I really liked doing was cranking up the heat to 90 and just rowing, and I loved that.
It was such a mind F because Justin kept being like, "Wow, it's so cold in here. We really had it cranked down. It's super cold." And he kept like bringing it up in intervals throughout the workout. And I was like, "Wait a minute, what?" And I mean, obviously now it was a joke, but at the time I was like, I can't tell if it's cold or not. It didn't seem more hot than usual. It just felt like I was sweating in a normal room. But then he
Right.
kept talking about how cold it was.
Why, for all the wearables that you wear, how come you don't wear a thermometer on your person?
I do. There's
You
a
do.
there's a skin temperature thing on the Whoop now and on the Aura.
But that's for your body, not for the world.
Oh, but I guess
You should just have a thermometer.
I feel like I'm pretty tapped into how chilly the draft is right here at this table. If we could maybe move, like just at the booth over there would be fantastic. Whereas I am not tapped into what my glucose is doing.
Your glucose is like, really not cooperating?
You could send someone else's. There are dogs that do that now.
Really?
Yes, and I say now as though it was just developed, but I imagine it's been a while. Dogs can smell when you're having a spike, and you can use them like a CGM.
What?
If you're diabetic, they train dogs. I saw this on TikTok, which obviously it's real.
Which is real, yeah.
But he came over and like gave her 2 taps, and she was like, "That means my glucose is bad." And then she went like this. And if he put his nose up here, she was like, "That means it's high, not low."
Oh my god, that's insane.
And then she tested, and she was like in 300s.
What? I love that.
Yeah.
I hate that, but I also love it.
What else are they smelling? They're like, "Ooh, I
You
know
seem
that you're really
stressed.
anxious." He's like,
Are you
"Dog,
stressed?
Did
I
you
feel like-
not finish your to-do list yesterday because you stink?"
Yeah, I'm just gonna start saying that to people. You smell productive. Whoa!
That honestly touched me. I felt great after you said that. Really? Why, thank you.
Woo! Real productive.
What a great day. Oh, that's funny.
That's really good.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm down to go. Did you wear red and black?
No, is that a thing?
Well, that's the colors.
It's red and black. Oh, and it's like a club too. I was like walking into a dance studio club.
I remember going to Barry's boot camp.
I've never.
Oh, we gotta go.
Is it good?
It's so red. You go into this room and you're like, am I on Mars? Like, what is this? It's just every light bulb is red. and you're looking at people and they're red. It's like you're in a strip club.
Specifically red.
And it's just
I wonder
red.
what the psychology of that is.
The psychology is, I'm glad you asked, because strip clubs use the same red lights because you look hotter in a red light.
Oh.
But it's also really dark.
More attractive.
It's like dark and red. So red, I think you're supposed to be hot, and dark, you're supposed to be like not less self-conscious that other people look at you because you can't see anything and you can barely see. But yeah, and so the way Barry's works is half the class you're on a treadmill and half the class you're on a weight bench, and when you're on the treadmill you're facing a mirror, so you're staring at yourself in the mirror and you're all red. And you look like it's like one of those old noir comics or whatever.
Yeah, Sin City.
It's negative space. Yeah,
that's
it's
so cool.
Nuts. But that's what I was thinking when I saw the lit method.
Yeah.
I wonder if every class just does that because I see Orange Theory and they do it with orange.
There's a boxing class that does red too, really dark red. I can't remember. It starts with an R, like
Rumble.
There we go. They're dark and red too. What they're trying to get at is the non-judgment thing too, with it being dark. SoulCycle's dark. They started it. SoulCycle started it. I was on rower number 2.
Nobody's
laying out a bunch of equipment and numbering them. I'm gonna say it here. SoulCycle came up with it. Then I went to bag number 2 at Rumble, and I went to rower number 2. But it started with bike number 2 with
Fair
Kim
enough.
Nonstop, one of the first trainers.
One of the best trainers of all time.
Correct.
If not the best trainer. Probably.
Did you know she's in Premium Rush?
We should do an
This is
episode.
just one long
Here's what we
inside
do.
joke. That's what this podcast is.
I just got a great idea. Have you ever heard of those podcasts where they do rewatches of shows?
Where you watch and react?
So they do
like
it.
Mystery Science Theater?
So they do it. They like run through an episode of something, and then this happened, and then this, and then they have all this sort of commentary on it. Or they do like.
I think I know where you're headed.
Or they say like, all right, if you want to do the full length, I'm gonna just do the commentary, my commentary track on it, and we're gonna do play in 3, 2, 1, play, and then the guy's like, all right, so this is ridiculous because they don't actually do this in real boxing gyms or whatever. Premium Rush.
Premium Rush. I'm in.
I believe it's available on digital.
In. Do we do this and not tell Kim?
And then just send it to
Yeah. Hey, can you forward this to Joseph Gordon-Levitt because I needed to see it too?
Joe, can you forward it to Joe? Joey? Whatever his name is.
Joey.
Jiggle. I would love to do that.
Okay, I'm in. Let us know in the comments if you want that.
Let us know in the comments if you don't
That'd
want
be a
that.
2-hour episode. We have to figure out the tempo.
Well, that's the difference between like, do we do the full movie or do we do like the breakdown? Like, okay, this happened and I thought this was funny, and then this happened and I thought
that means
was
that
funny.
we'd have to make notes while watching.
Yeah, which we'd have
Sounds
to
like
do
a lot
and
of
probably.
Oh,
Well,
you're not funny on the fly.
Also,
I'm pretty
would we
sure you're a
have
good
to do?
improviser.
Well, thank you. I didn't go to Carnegie Mellon or anything, but I appreciate that. We'd have to figure out if we would want to do it at the same time together, and like drink a million beers, or do it separately and be like, that's what you noticed? This is what I noticed.
Yeah.
I don't know what would be better. We'd figure it out. But I think the bottom line is there's not enough Premium Rush
Content in this podcast. So, coming soon, more of that.
In this world, in this existence, there's not enough Premium Rush content.
More Premium Rush. I remember I had to watch it for that episode that we had her on the second time, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I had to watch a pirated version.
Did you really?
Yes. I wanted to pay for it.
I know.
I'm happy to own it on VHS or whatever. No way to play it back. It's like you need a Rosetta Stone or something.
I'll just play it back from my memory. I'll just act it out for
Yeah.
you because I know that.
Various bike helmets to play the different characters.
Come on, Joe, or whatever his name is.
We're going. We don't need brakes.
Wiley, that's his name.
Yeah, I can't believe you remember that.
Please, that's the greatest movie of all time.
Scary villain. He's so
Michael
scary.
Shannon, he's the scariest person. You could say someone. Okay, Michael Shannon is one of the greatest actors ever. And then my friend, who is an actual actor person, writer person, Hollywood person, she was talking about him, and she was like, he could say his name 100 times in a row, and I would be on the edge of my seat. And that's like every time I think of that, or she said like he could say his name and be terrifying, and I'm like, yeah, dude, that's the perfect analysis of him.
He's only ever slated for a role.
Shannon.
That's it. You're hired.
Like, you're hired. Hire this man.
I love it. Okay, bring your rower to my yard and we'll row outside.
Ride your bike to my rower. Put your rower on your back and ride your bike like those stupid TikToks.
What's that guy's name? Matthew
Judon.
I send you his stuff all the time, and he will put a rower on his back and do push-ups. Or that's not even as complex as it should be. He'll hang from a band.
He'll have a weight belt, but instead of weights, it's holding a rowing machine.
Yeah.
And he'll do pull-ups.
And he'll do pull-ups from a band with a tire hanging off his neck.
And the tire's on fire.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
And also he's on the moon or something something ridiculous. Yeah. I'm down to let's do a row off. We did one and I smoked you.
I know.
We tied.
You were so slow. You just took your time having a good old time on that boat. Those beers didn't have a good time in my belly, that's for sure. It's so funny we did that at a public gym too.
A nice one. A
really nice one. That was forever ago too. I linked to that at the end of mine. I was like, if you liked this, you'll probably like seeing me and Max tear it up with beers.
Watching us row. It's a nightmare.
Alright, should we try more workouts too? I mean, Fitness Misfits was fun.
That was really fun.
We pitched that idea just because we wanted to try new workouts and impress the trainers and do something new every time.
Yeah, it was fun. We should start going to Lit Method continuously.
I don't want to be that fit.
There was one time where Justin's like, all right, you guys ready to go? And he's wearing a blue tank top and blue shorts. And I look down and I'm wearing a blue tank top and blue shorts. And I'm like, I did not do that on purpose.
Yeah, there was one time where he's like, all right, you ready to start the workout? And we had already been doing, like, apparently a warm-up, which was like 15 minutes and felt like workout.
Did you ever answer him when he said stuff like that? I'd be like, no. And then I'd look around and be like, wait, who am I talking to?
Well, I was there with him in the room and I had a lavalier, so it was capturing, like, all of my groaning.
Cursing at him under your breath.
Yeah. All right. If you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts, that helps us out a lot. We are going to review your reviews that you submitted so that we would review them coming up soon.
And if you think of a workout class we should take
and
analyze in the way that we just
very deeply
the crack team the
while
crack
insulting
ourselves
spiders.
And spiders and fish. If you're pro fish and pro spider, then I apologize for this episode and but whatever.
Wow. Non-apology apology.
Fish don't have ears. I'm sorry you feel that way, fish. Maybe grow some ears. Maybe grow some biceps and then we can talk.